Good afternoon and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here this afternoon with Venus and her trainer Fred. And what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is her ability to understand and respond to her obedience commands. The correction and the motivation that we give the dogs when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Fred is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he keeps the bulk of the leash folded neatly in his right hand. That leaves the left hand free to give the correction. And the only correction that we give the girls is a tug and let go on their training collar. And that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Both of your girls have been fitted with their very own training collars, and they will be coming home with them. Now she is sitting very nicely at Fred's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done. And the first exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you, and is very important, is the heel. The command is the dog's name, Venus Heel, and she has a job to do at this point, and that is to stay even with Fred's left leg. Not dragging you down the street like a windsock, but matching pace with you and keeping her attention focused on you so she knows when you're going to stop your feet. So when you stop to cross traffic or you stop to talk to a neighbor, she should be sitting nicely at your left and waiting for her next command. And the next command that Fred's going to demonstrate is the stay. The stay is a hand and a voice command, and because it is a stationary exercise, it is a one-word command. Practice this with the girls indoors as well as outdoors. When Fred returns back to her, he will walk all the way around her, returning as an additional distraction, returning all the way back around to heel position. And at this point, she expects to get another command, and Fred tells her to heel again, and they take off walking. So this is your walking exercise. Nice automatic sits. Staying right even with your left leg, looking up at you for direction. And then your stay commands are important for helping to develop self-control and maturity. They're young dogs. Siberian Huskies are notoriously empty-headed, so we want to work up from 1 minute to 3 minutes. This time, instead of returning to her, Fred's going to do the recall or the come on command. You use her name, you use a happy voice, and she should come right in front and sit. She shouldn't be jumping all over you, and then she goes back to heel. So if you notice, everything is low-key. We're not amping them up. Her tail is up and wagging. She's having a good time. But she's well under control. Fred's going to leave her again in a stay, and we'll demonstrate that recall exercise again for you. And if you notice, she responds to hand and voice commands. He called her in, she comes right in front and sits, and then she returns back to heel. Very good. And he gives her a little pat for a good job. And he's going to set up for our down commands. And these are going to be important commands. The sit stays and the down stays, you practice right in your house. Put your training equipment on and practice with them together. And separately. You can crate them and practice separately. Now with your dog seated at heel position, you take your left open palm straight down toward the ground and the one-word command to down.
No. Down.
Now if she doesn't go down, you heard Fred say no down, and he leaves her in a stay. Your long down stays are longer than your sit stays. They're from 3 minutes working up to 5 minutes. So practice, practice, practice. When Fred returns back to her, he will walk all the way around her just as he did on the sit stay as an additional distraction. And when you get back to heel, she expects to get another command. And he'll demonstrate that down from a heel position one more time. Always have your dog seated before you attempt to put them into a down. Now with her seated at your left, left open palm straight down toward the ground, the one-word command to down, and then stay. This is your long down stay. And like I said, work up in time. This time Fred will call her out of that down stay. She sits right in front, and then she goes back to heel. And the very last exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you with Venus is the down from a distance. This is a little bit harder exercise because you're not right next to the dog and able to give a correction as easily. You leave her in a sit-stay, walk out and face her. Use your right hand to give the command and give her the down command, and she always falls over on the down from a distance. So that's your down from a distance. Now we have demonstrated for you Venus's version of all of her obedience commands, and you will see that the two girls work differently and with different attitudes. They're both very sweet and they've both done a great job. So we'll be back with Venus, and then we'll be back again with videos of both of the girls.